Okay, you'd like to read the letter?
Yes, well...
First you have to tell the story.
Yeah, at the first workshop in 62...
in March.
The very first one. I know that Harvey was aware that it was a very important historical moment. Now, this was going to be the first time artists had ever blown glass outside of a factory in the United States, basically in an artist's studio. And and yet, even in spite of knowing that, he didn't bring a camera, and he didn't take any notes. Nobody wrote down anything, I don't think, except me. And fortunately, I wrote 3 letters to my wife describing what was taking place. And Harvey, and when I've got into an article, my letters refute something he says in the book that he wrote, in which he said that didn't succeed to blow glass until Nick Labino brought in the marbles. Well, here's what I wrote. Excerpt from a letter written to my wife Pat from Toledo Museum of Art on the 6th day of the first glass blowing workshop on March 29th, 1962. I started it on Wednesday, and I say the last 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, we have been working from 8:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. We have been blowing some high temperature glass and doing pretty well. Everybody has blown something fairly good by now, although we haven't been able to keep anything because our annealing oven was too hot. We were using it to preheat the pots before we loaded them with a batch of chemicals. So our pieces were either melting or cracking in the oven. Because of the annealing oven and because the pots we were melting the glass in were too small, we are rebuilding the kiln today. We got some glass marbles from Mr. Labino, the inventor, enough so we'll be able to use the whole floor of the kiln to melt the glass in. This way we'll be able to melt enough glass for 2 days of blowing that we'll probably have to work in shifts. Friday and Saturday we'll be working on finishing techniques. This morning we went over to the museum to look at the glass collection. Yesterday we looked at the American glass, and today we looked at the world history of glass. It was quite evident that the collection of glass at Cornell is not Phoenician. Cornell College had a little glass case about that wide and 5 foot high, and it had probably 20 or 30 pieces of ancient glass. I'm sure it was all Roman, but after looking at it, I said Phoenicians weren't glass producers, they were primarily traders of glass. And I think the little note card in the case at Cornell had a little description of the glass, and I think it said that the Phoenicians had discovered the art of melting glass when one of their fighters on the beach melted the sand into glass, which I thought was quite original way of getting glass started on a beach.
Yeah, that's Pliny's story.
Yeah.
A lot of people refer to that as the beginning of making glass.
Yeah, most of the pieces are probably late Roman, 3rd or 4th century A.D. Of the 3 curators that we've been with in the museum, the curator of ancient glass was the least interested in what we are doing. The week is not going as fast as I expected since we are putting in 13-hour days. Monday and Tuesday we charged the glass or melted it from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. when we'd start blowing. We would blow it until 9 or 10 when the glass would be all gone. Then we'd turn the kiln off and let it cool overnight. Mr. Labino came in yesterday afternoon to see how we were coming. We had just started blowing, so he tried some glass and did the best yet. He tried blowing long-necked bottles, which are the easiest shapes to make. He would start with a gob of glass that is long and narrow and then start a bubble down it. Next he would swing the blowpipe to stretch the bubble out into a long neck. Then he would blow again to form the bulb on the end. I tried several like this, and I got one that was decent, but it broke in the annealing oven. While we were waiting for more glass to melt, we went out for supper with Mr. Lubino and Norm Schulman to a Hungarian restaurant near the museum. I had tenderloin tips with Hungarian noodles that were delicious. Mr. Lubino was telling jokes all through the meal. He's quite a sense of humor. Continued Thursday p.m. Last night when Clayton and I got back from supper, we started blowing and didn't quit until 4 a.m. when John Stevenson came in to blow. We didn't get much accomplished, but I learned a lot. We just got back to the museum at 2:30 p.m. One of the women of the group, Edith Franklin, is blowing right now, and she's doing pretty good. She has kept 2 or 3 pieces today. I did some things last night that I kept. If they are annealed okay, I might be able to bring them home. They've been all right so far. I put the pieces in the chamber over the kiln when I finished them, and they're still there unbroken. If we have enough glass, and we should, because Harvey just went for more, Clayton and I will probably blow all night again tonight. It's 75 degrees today, just beautiful. We're working in the garage behind the museum and have the overhead door open. People are wandering in to see what we're doing.
Wow. Now, I didn't follow exactly the sequence of days. This letter was written on which day?
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. And you said?
Let's see, I said the last 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. Now, I started it on Wednesday, and I finished it, and then Clayton and I blew all night Wednesday night. And then I finished it Thursday.
Okay. So Monday and Tuesday was batching the handmade crucibles.
Right.
Wednesday must have been the day you went for marbles.
Right.
Wednesday night you blew all night.
Yeah. Thursday, all day, everybody blew.
And then everybody blew Thursday
Clayton and I
Friday.
were supposed to blow that night, but I think we went out to dinner and had a few drinks and decided we couldn't blow glass.
Yeah.
And then...
Okay. So, the story that the glass was impossible to blow on Monday and Tuesday is false.
Yes.
We know that from the letter.
Yeah.
But it wasn't ideal, and it wasn't enough for you guys to, I mean, if that had been the only source,
Yeah.
this whole glass activity thing would have been very slow.
The letter, I wrote a letter on Monday or Tuesday, I think Tuesday, and that I don't have printed out in the computer, but
Yeah.
In that I talk quite a bit about how frustrated we all are.
Yeah. I would like to ask you, you're both, Pat, I would like to ask if I could ask permission for an edited copy of all of the letters could be printed in the Glass Art Society Journal with your, could that happen with your approval? And you take out the stuff and leave the mushy stuff in if you want. I'm happy with it. It'll be fun to see.
I haven't seen it for 100 years.
Yeah, but it may not be so good. But at any rate, if it is good, leave it in. Okay, but all of the letters published. Can we do that?
Yep.
Can we make that commitment?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
And can you work on trying to get those in a format that we can send it to the journal right away?
Ooh.
Not right away, but I mean, not waiting until 2012, but can you get those?
Oh, yeah, I'll do it
those letters to me this year, please?
This spring.
This spring, could you do that?
Yep.
Send them to me?
Yep.
All right. Now, I've already talked with Susan Rossi Wilcox, the current editor of the journal, and alerted her that I was going to ask you that question, and I asked her would she print them, and she would be delighted. She said, this is primary research that nobody else can get anything to refute. It's physically impossible. It's a document
There
that's-
is-
that
there is-
needs to be public, needs to go out to the public. So there may be other people that asked for it, but I want to ask for the Glass Art Society because I'm very interested in this whole history thing for gas to take care of that.
There is a letter in the museum files written by the chief curator, I believe he was, I'm not
Rudy
sure.
Reefstall.
No,
No?
he's Glass, curator of Glass. I think this was,
No. Rudy Reefstall was medieval. Not, it was Renaissance,
huh,
I think.
I thought it was Glass.
Well, there's glass in there.
Oh, okay. No, it was Millard Rogers.
Oh,
And he was
he
asked
wasn't
by...
around then, was he?
Yeah.
What was his?
He went down to Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati, I think the next year or so, 63 or 64.
And he was helping Otto?
He
in
was
62?
a curator.
He was a curator.
Now, this isn't the Seattle Millard Rogers. There's two Millard Rogers.
Oh, I'm confused. Okay.
There's a professor at University of Washington that I studied with. He was an Oriental.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the Millard Rogers of Toledo Museum.
Oh, okay.
Fame.
But, yeah, he was curator, and Otto asked him to give him a report on this workshop.
So.
And so he did have one line in there that the furnace was built and glass was melted, and they did blow glass on Monday and Tuesday.
How can I get my hands on that letter?
Go to the librarian at the museum,
Okay,
or call her,
okay.
ask for a copy of it. Or Yuta should get it for you.
Yeah, she's busy though.
I can go down and get it if nothing else.
All right. I'll try first and then maybe...
But that's all he
back,
does.
yeah.
He mentions, it's like one line, but he did confirm that glass was blown on Monday and Tuesday.
But he must have talked about Thursday and Friday too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want the whole thing,
Yeah.
please. Excellent. All right.
However, there's letters from Charlie Gunther to Harvey and letters between Charlie and Whitman. I'll send you the whole file.
All right. That might be the easiest thing. I won't even call the librarian.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can just go get that whole file and Xerox it. That'd be great. Pat, can you think of something that we're forgetting?
Oh, I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
Think of any little anecdotes,
Yeah. Good.
but
And Robin, do you have another question in your
Not right off.
thoughts? Yeah. Well, Tom, as always, my great pleasure. I love talking with you and chatting and
You stimulate my reminiscing wonderfully.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay. Let's wind it off.
Perfect. We got 2 minutes left on this tape. So. Perfect timing.
you can fist bump in that time. There.
Better if the 2 minutes are blank at the end than at the beginning.
Have a strawberry for Valentine's there. Have you ever seen
Is that
something?
really all edible?
Amazing, isn't it?
What are these apricots?
No, I think they're
Melon.
melon balls.